next we have Mark Sauter. I just want to point out that it is Mark's birthday, and that's dedication. We would say it's dedication, but he actually set this date, so he purposely is here to talk to you on his birthday. Here you go.
All right, thank you, Caitlin. Yes, we can do a happy birthday afterwards. I don't want to take up my 10 minutes for that. So thank you, Caitlin, for organizing and hosting tonight. Thank you, everyone, for coming down here. I know this might not be as exciting as the Patriots tailgate right now, but you know it's important that everyone's here. So we'll be home in time to watch the game tonight. Thank you to my fellow candidates for being here also. And I just want to tell you a little bit about me. My name's Mark Sauter. As many of you probably know, I do live in Merrymount, and I am the president of the Merrymount Association. And I have 2 young kids, Frank, who is going to be 1 in September, later this month, and Maylee, who is going to be 3 in October. So them right there are probably the 2 greatest reasons why I'm running for the school committee. I want to make sure that the school system continues to remain strong and provides the best possible education opportunities for my children, but also for all the children all across Quincy. So I think that my leadership, my community leadership background, my fresh ideas and perspective, also my legal background, and my dedication to public service all qualify me well for a position on the school committee. So my main reason here running for the school committee is I have just an incredible desire and commitment to improving Quincy for everyone. And I've been fortunate enough to be the president of the Merrymount Association for the past 4 years. I've gotten to know many people here through that. But I've also had experience as the president of the Merrymount Association with community engagement, working with city and state officials on issues of neighborhood concern, fiscal management. We've got a budget, of over $15,000, which I think is the most of any of the neighborhood associations in the city. So it is a significant amount of money that we've got to manage. I have experience working collaboratively with the board that we have on the association. So I think all of those experiences would help me on the school committee. As many of you know, I've been very involved here, doing the July 4th parade, neighborhood cleanups, meet the candidate nights, festivals, races, you name it, we do it down here. And it is a lot of work, and I need to thank my wife Leah for permitting me and allowing me and supporting me to get that involved, but she knows how important it is to me because there's so many great traditions here in Merrymount, and we want to keep those traditions strong for the future generations. And I look at the school committee very similar to that. We have great schools here in Quincy, we've got great teachers, we've got great programs, and I think the role of the school committee is to make sure that we keep moving forward with those, make improvements where we need to make improvements, but really to maintain the great system that we have already. So that would definitely be my goal on the school committee. I also think that it's important for the school committee to be well-rounded, to have members of diverse backgrounds. So I think it's great that we have former educators on the school committee now. I think it's great that we have a member on the school committee who recently graduated from high school in Quincy, that offers a good perspective. I think it's great we have a school committee member, Kathy Hubley, who has high school age kids. I think that's great also. What I think we're missing on the school committee is a parent of younger children. We've got all these young families moving into Quincy, and they're all bringing their kids, and they have issues of educational concern. And I think that I can definitely represent those young children and young families, in addition to all the other kids going through the school system. But I think that I can offer that perspective, and I will on the school committee. I think what I also bring to the school committee is a history and track record of fresh ideas and fresh perspective. And that might be because I'm not originally from Quincy. I haven't lived here my entire life. I don't have family that traces back generations here. But sometimes that's helpful. Sometimes it's good to have someone with an outside perspective. And I'll give you an example of where I think that I've brought that. Many of you know the Saturday morning gym programs that the Quincy Rec Department runs in the winter. It's a great program. When I had our daughter last year, 2 years old, absolutely stir-crazy Saturday mornings in the winter, said, well, this is great, we can go to the Saturday morning gym program. I checked it out and realized that it's for kids 8 years and older. I said, well, that makes no sense. We've got all these kids under 8 years old in the city. So I contacted the rec director, brought up this idea to open up something for Quincy's younger students, or younger children. I didn't really get much of a response from him. So I said, well, you know what? I'm going to start a petition. I'm going to research what other cities around Quincy do and realize that those cities offer programs for younger children in the winter. So I put my research together, put an online petition together. We had over 400 signatures. That got the rec director's attention very quickly. So we started a program. It was called Quincy Tot Time. And it was a great program. They started it as a pilot program, and then they extended it all the way into the early spring. So that's just an example of what a fresh idea, fresh perspective that I bring, and that I think that I can bring to all the students in all the schools across Quincy. So one of the other reasons I'm running for school committee is, as a fellow public employee, I have great respect and admiration for the hardworking employees of the Quincy school system. I'm an attorney for the federal government. My mother, she was a teacher and a guidance counselor. My father, he's an attorney who represents public teacher unions. So from them, I definitely learned of the great value and importance of public education, and I've just got a great respect for those individuals. And I pledge that I will always support our hardworking teachers, make sure they have the necessary compensation and resources to successfully guide our children. So I do think also my legal background would be helpful on the school committee. We are losing the one attorney who's on the school committee, and I think it is important to have someone with a legal education and background to analyze some of the complex problems and issues that come up in the school system. So currently I work for the Department of Homeland Security in Boston for Immigration and Customs Enforcement. And so that's what I do for my day job, but definitely have an interest in using those my legal background and legal skills on the school committee. So what would I like to accomplish if I get onto the school committee, if I'm so fortunate? Well, I've got a whole list of issues. They're over on my table over here. They're on my website also, but I'll just tick through a few of them. One of the main things that I see for the students in Quincy is the need to make sure that we have updated and expanded our substance abuse curriculum, our outreach programs, our counseling to help combat the opioid epidemics that has hit our city and the entire state very, very hard. So I want to make sure that we're doing all we can on that. I'd also like to expand pre-K for our youngest students here in Quincy. For our elementary students, I'd like to bring recess back into the picture. Recess has been cut from so many schools, and that's something that's so important for our young kids to be able to get out and play and learn those skills, and that helps them focus the rest of the day. At the middle school level, one thing that I'd be very interested in adding is Chinese Mandarin to the foreign language offerings. Right now we only have Spanish and French. I think Chinese Mandarin is an incredibly important language in our city, in our region, and now in the entire world, with it being such a strong language on the international business level. At high school, I want to make sure our students that are graduating and going to college are as prepared and have as much financial knowledge as possible before they go off to school and before they have so much student debt. The student debt that we have as for college students right now is just astronomical. And to help with that, I'd like the city of Quincy to fund a scholarship program for graduating seniors. The city of Boston does something similar to this. They partner with corporations and individuals to bring a fund of money together. I think that would be something great for our city to do as well. So those are some of the main issues that I see. One thing I've also heard from numerous people across the city is the need to increase and update communication from the school committee to parents and to students, and also from the individual schools to parents and students. That's something that I would like to see. I'd like to see an updated website from the Quincy Public School website. Make something a little bit easier for parents to find information that is important to them. So I have a whole host of other issues that I'd love to get into if I'm elected to the school committee. So I'm going to close now. I want to thank everyone again for coming out here. I think Quincy is a city that has just an amazingly rich history. And I think that it has a bright future as well, as long as we continue to invest in our schools, in our students, and in our teachers. And that's my plan if I'm elected to the school committee. So thank you all very much.